Hello and good day, sir. In this video, I'll be performing how to install and configure an Active Directory and domain services. Now first, let us open our control panel and configure our IP address into a static IP. And what I'm going to do is click on the Network and Sharing Center and click on the connections, which is the Ethernet. You can also click the change adapter settings and click properties and look for the Internet Protocol version 4, because this is the IP version that is currently used by our local machine. Next is click the use or choose the following IP address, and it will let you type your preferred IP address. So in my preference, I want to use the 192.168.1.2 for my IP address on this server, and my default gateway will be 1.1. And as for the subnet mask, I'll be using the class C as the default, and for my preferred DNS server, I'll be using the 127.0.0.1, which is the default DNS server. After you type all the fields that is needed, click next, and after that check if it's applied, and okay, and close the window and wait for it to fully close the window. It means that it was properly configured and it's applied to our local machine. And close this window. And now let's proceed on our server manager. In this one, we will add a role, which is the Active Directory and domain services, and as well as its features. Click on manage and click add roles and features, and with that you will see the introduction and click next. Since it will be established on our local server, keep the settings default and click next. After clicking next and selecting your local server, as you can see, you are able to view the IP address of the local server that we set, the 1.2. And then after clicking next, put a tick on our Active Directory and domain services. Put a check on it by clicking the checkbox, and you can see this description of the role that you are trying to add, and as well as the features of the Active Directory and domain services. So click add feature, and after that click next, and after that click next also. It will just display a description, and if you want to automatically restart the local machine, you can check the checkbox, and if not, just click install. And with this, the installation will commence or proceed, and wait for it to finish installing. Now that our Active Directory and domain service is properly installed, we need to promote the server to the domain controller. So click that, and we need to, since we don't have our domain server, we don't have our root domain yet, so we need to add our new forest or new domain. So when adding new domain, it must have an extension or domain extension like .com, .org, .net, and so on and so forth. So in my preference, I would like to put it sumangeproject.org, and click next. In this page, you can select the domain and forest functional levels, and in this page also we can set our password and for our directory services. And after that, if after you input your password and as well as confirming it, click next. For the DNS options, this is going to be the first DNS server. So in our new forest or in a new domain, so no need to modify our NetBIOS domain name. So with that, we need to click next to proceed. And on this page, keep all the settings default and proceed on clicking next. In this page, it will present a preview of your configuration, that the one that we did lately. And after that, if you are satisfied with the configuration that is presented to you, click next. And if you're not still satisfied, you can go click previous so that you could configure the ones that you are wanted to configure. So as you can see, all of our prerequisites are successfully checked. So with that, we need to click install so that our role will be installed to our local machine or to our local server, and wait for it to install. And with after that, the machine will restart, and you can log in back to your desktop and open your your server manager and see if our Active Directory and domain service is on our dashboard. It means that if it's present on our dashboard, meaning it is successfully installed. Now as you can see, when we try to log in, we can see that our login page does have another user, which means that our Active Directory role is successfully installed. So let's log in with our administration privilege. And if you and in this part, we are trying to add a user, an administrator user, and as well as a guest user. So to do that, we need to open our server manager, and as you can see on our dashboard, to see if our Active Directory and domain services, the role that we installed earlier is properly installed. So we need to see it on our dashboard, and as you can see, the ADDS or the Active Directory Domain Services is present on our dashboard. It means that we have successfully installed it on our local server, and our way of installing it is effective. And to add users to our machine, that in which those users can log in to our client machine. Since this is our server, so we have our clients. So if we add some users, those credentials will be used on our clients. So with this, click on the tools next to the manage and find the Active Directory users and computers. So this page will pop up, and we can see our domain, the somangiproject.org, and select users folder. And here you can see all of the users that can log in to our system or to our machine. So if we want to create a guest user, you just need to right click the guest and copy it. And if we want to add some administrator user, you can just the same right click and copy. And if you want to add another user, just click this icon and it will give you this page. So we'll try to add some user. Put the first name, last name, and the username, and as well as the password. So the password must have at least 8 characters with symbols, capital and numbers. And uncheck that one and check the password never expires. It depends on the administrator privilege. And click OK. So as you can see, our user is added to our folder, and we want to create an administrator since the one that we finished creating is only used for our clients. So we need to create a user that can log in as administrator but using another account. So the same process, and then click next. So as you can see, our admin user, our newly created admin user is now present on the folder. Now we will try to log in using these credentials. So we need to sign out from this account by Alt F4 and sign out, and log in using the newly created credential as administrator, user admin, and our password. Now you can see that we logged in using our newly created account or newly created user as administrator. So with that, we can say that we successfully installed the Active Directory and domain services on our local server or in our local machine. So that is all, sir, and I hope that I performed the activity or the project well. Thank you for watching, sir, and God bless, and Happy New Year, sir.